So I'm going to start off by saying the word survival. Nobody ever knows if they will still be alive at the end of the day. However, some people will do things to increase their chances. My name is Josh Vollings, and I grew up in a more poor area of a town in England called Sutton. My family didn't have much money as my mom was very ill, and my father was the only one working, owning a movie rental shop. I would have considered myself a fairly innocent child, very quiet and independent. However, when I hit the age of 10, I would begin to start stealing food from local shops and vendors in the market. Obviously, even at the time, I was not proud of my actions. However, I did what I had to do in order to feed my family so that we didn't starve. Now I live here in Canada with my wife and 2 kids, and I'm now a major in psychology. I've learned that when a person is trying to survive, they will act against their moral beliefs because they want to be practical. A book I recently read, Life of Pi, describes this theory extraordinarily. Alright, well, has anyone here read the book or seen the movie? Alright, not too many, so I'll sum it up for you. Pi is a very religious boy, about 15 or 16, who lives in India with his family, who own a zoo. Pi's dad decides the family's going to move and set sail to Canada. The family boards a ship with some of the remaining animals from the zoo. However, there's a terrible storm causing the ship to sink. Pi is the only human survivor that was on the ship and finds a lifeboat to get onto. However, he's not alone on the lifeboat, as there's also some of the animals from the zoo, including an orangutan, zebra, hyena, and the tiger, Richard Parker. Pi uses his religious beliefs and prays to God every day, while at the same time he does things that are completely against his religion. Pi and Richard Parker learn that they must trust each other in order to survive. However, as soon as the 2 get to shore, after months on sea, Richard Parker runs away. The press surrounds Pi, and he tells 2 different stories of what happened. One of the stories is that he was accompanied by different animals aboard the lifeboat, and the other was the same story, except he replaces the animals with humans. I found an intriguing quote from Life of Pi, which is when Pi first realizes he needs to do something before the tiger kills him. It states, "Kill him with 6 morphine syringes, but I had no idea what effect it would have on him. Would they be enough to kill him? And how exactly was I supposed to get the morphine into his system?" The questions Pi is asking himself, such as, would they be enough to kill him, are very ironic. Pi is a Hindu, and most Hindus, being vegetarian or vegan, believe it is terrible to harm an animal, as most animals in Hindu culture are also considered sacred. Martel demonstrates how even a well-practiced Hindu such as Pi would be willing to kill an animal, completely disobeying his religion in order to survive. Suddenly, his brute strength meant only moral weakness. It was nothing compared to the strength in my mind. Yet another quote demonstrating Pi's desire for survival. This quote is Pi's realization that Richard Parker is not as strong as he may seem. Suddenly, his brute strength meant only moral weakness, shows that Pi is understanding that he is stronger than Richard Parker mentally. Therefore, he could be easy to manipulate. This comparison shows that Pi's attitude is changing as he is trying to survive, as now he is trying to make sure he is superior to those around him. There are obviously different levels of brutal things a person can do while struggling to stay alive. We did a survey asking people if they were trapped on an island with no vegetation or food of any kind, with a dozen other people, what would you eat? The majority of people said nothing, or that they would just drink water, while a couple people answered that they might actually resort to cannibalism. It's hard to know what decision we would actually make until this decision actually became reality. Well, once again, our dear friend Pi made a choice to eat a man's flesh, completely based off the fact that he wanted to survive. I will further confess that, driven by the extremity of my need and the madness to which it pushed me, I ate some of his flesh. I mean small pieces, little strips, that I meant for the gaff's hook that when dried by the sun looked like ordinary animal flesh. They slipped into my mouth nearly unnoticed. Now let's look at the word madness. Pi is not proud of himself as he's going against his own Hindu beliefs, because cannibalism is frowned upon by the majority of the world. Pi describes this situation as madness because once again, he is disregarding the fact that he's a vegetarian as he just ate a man's flesh. He now is aware that he's a very different person as he was a person who really valued his morals and beliefs. However, now he is going against them all because he now is aware that he's a very different person now, as he was a person who really valued his morals and beliefs. However, he's now going against them all because he's trying to be practical in order to survive. You see, survival will always be more difficult for those who have strong morals and beliefs, as they have to consider those things in every decision that they make. While on the other hand, look at someone who doesn't care or has no morals or beliefs. While that person is trying to stay alive, they most likely won't think twice about a decision they make, or just won't let their consequences affect them mentally. So I'll end with this: to survive, to remain alive or in existence. This is a concept that is more complex than it seems. People are in the process of surviving every day, while at the same time, others are struggling to survive. This situation causes a change in who we are as humans, as it can bring out the worst in people, a side of you that you didn't even know was present. Thank you.